What's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome back, and you're checking out the DPS Mercenary rotation spec and stat priority guide. Now, I am not BIS on any of my characters, and this is PTS server. Um, I didn't mention this in my last video, but I will do an updated stat priority of what best in slot's gonna look like um, when I get there, or when I get enough information that I feel I would put up on my videos. So my rotations and what I do, you don't have to follow, but I kind of also highly recommend it that you follow as close as possible to me, just because I am a good DPS and my numbers are up there. So anyway, let's get into the spec. It's still Arsenal. Arsenal's still the best spec for DPS Mercenary in 2.0. Here's what I spec into. The only 2 points that you can really play around with here is Afterburners and Jet Escape. It's personal preference. It really doesn't matter at all. But everything else is pretty much maximized around PvE only. Some people do put um, the one less point in the alacrity here and put it into critical reaction. The reasons I don't like that is A, because the only way it's good is if you have it going every time during unload procs. Uh, so you have to have that proc going during your unload to actually be worthwhile. Other than that, if you don't have it up every time, it's pretty much useless. And now that crits you're not going to be stacking any crit. You just don't want to do it anymore. Even for live servers, I don't like it at all. It's 1 point second difference on your unload, which ain't a big deal at all. And like I said, you need that to go every time you're doing your unload, which uh, I it's like a 50-50 for me. Anyway, let's get into gearing. Like I said, this is 69s. I will put a updated note on all my videos of what 72s are going to look like, stat priorities. But for the main part, you're going to want to go all power, no crit. Um, Also, too, make sure you have 100% range and 110% um, tech accuracy. Since unload is your main ability and it's white numbers, you definitely want the 100%. Um, Also, too, make sure you also go all aim augments and you use your PvE relics. Um, so for my rotation now, uh, it's if you checked out my previous video for 1.7, the rotation is pretty much different. Mercenary DPS is still really good. They even got a few new tricks up their sleeve for PvP, so it's also good for PvP now. The only thing is though, for PvE, I feel like they really broke key management. Other than that, Merc DPS is still phenomenal. Um, I'm always, I still get top meters on most bosses, except for, melee friendlies where they really have their chances to get there. So anyway, the rotation is really different now. I don't even use explosive dart. Once in a blue moon, if I have zero heat, I got nothing else to do, I'll throw an explosive dart out there. Or if I have like 8 or 16 heat or something like that, and I'm waiting for half a second on unload to come off its cooldown, I'll throw an explosive dart out there. But pretty much you don't want to use explosive dart how I was telling you to use it in my previous video. Same thing with rocket punch. Even if you're in melee range, still avoid it unless like you're waiting for a CD to come off on unload, and you don't want to just stand there with your finger up your ass. So my new rotation is Electronet, um, followed by Unload, followed by your clicky Dreadguard relic, or your new relics, followed by Trace Missile 3 times. Then it's going to be followed by a Thermal Sensor Override and Power Surge in combination with Fusion Missile. Every time you use Fusion Missile is a good time to use your aggro dumps, so that's when I use my aggro dumps. Then it's followed by Heat Seekers, Rail Shot, and another Unload. And then you'll have another Power Surge proc, so you'll use that on another Unload. Hopefully you'll get your Barrage proc, which is for your Unload. So if you do, go ahead and use it. If not, I do 2 more Tracer Missiles and then auto Rapid Shots. And pretty much the rotation will continue from there. A quick note is every time unload is off its cooldown, or it's half a second or a second away from being off its cooldown, wait for it, throw an explosive dart out or a rapid shot depending on your heat. Um, it's always better to wait that 1 second, get an unload, do true trace of missiles, and then get another unload proc. It's just way more damage. Also, too, I also use trace of missiles and bursts of 2. Never try to use it in single burst unless I get an unload proc. Then I will cut the next trace of missile off and go into an unload. Hopefully, I'll get to show you that here. Um, but always try to use trace of missiles and bursts of 2, unless you're 5 stacks away and your heat seekers and rail shots are off its cooldown. Then just go ahead and do one to get the 5 stacks of your procs, and then continue with heat seekers and rail shot. Um, then it also becomes a little bit of a mini game with thermal sensor override and power surge. I split it up after the first initial use, so after um, um, power surge is off its cooldown, which will be first, I will use it in combination with fusion missile only. When you're using power surge only with fusion missile, you gotta absolutely make sure you have vent heat up, or you'll be sitting there doing auto attacks until you got no heat. Um, After that, 30 seconds later, you can use your thermal sensor override in combination with fusion missile. I also like to do 2 traits of missiles before I do either my thermal sensor override or power surge with my fusion missile. I'll show you here in the rotation. But that's pretty much it to Merc rotation. It sounds a little complicated. With the new heat management, you really just got to practice on the training dummy to get a new feel for your heat. The only times I auto attack is around 30 to 35%, and I feel like my heat's not going down as fast enough as I would like it to. For AoE packs, the trick to really good Merc DPS AoE, which in my opinion is the best AoE damage class, would be to get up in melee range, death from above on your targets, flamethrower, and sweeping blasters. The only reason I say to get in melee range is because you gotta have you gotta be close enough for flamethrower to hit. So anyway, let's get into the rotation here. Um, like, subscribe, comment, and please check out my other videos. Peace out, guys.